Hello YouTube, welcome to another one of my Duel Links videos, and today I have for you Day 1 Vendread. Now the reason why I'm calling this a Day 1 deck is because it's one of those builds where you just basically put all the cards into a deck to get familiar with the effects, with the combos and stuff like that. This is probably not gonna be what the optimized version looks like. I've already seen people using Neo's Fusion with it. I really hope that doesn't become the optimized build for this. Because the archetype is really fun. They are zombie rituals. We have 3 ritual monsters. Vendread Slayer. You can ritual summon this card with any Vendread ritual spell, so we have 2 spells for that. And then it says, once per battle, if this card battles an opponent's monster, during damage calculation, it's a quick effect. You can banish 1 zombie type monster from your graveyard. This card gains 300 attack. If this ritual summon card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 ritual spell from your deck to your hand, and if you do, send 1 Vendread monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can only use this effect once per turn. So it lets you search for a ritual spell, which is really good. And because you can send any monster, any Vendread monster to the graveyard, you're basically going to be able to ritual summon your following turn with whatever you pick up, since both ritual spells let you summon from the graveyard. So the card is really good. I don't know if it's that important of a boss monster. It is 6-star, so it's the easiest one to go into. As far as the ritual spells, Origin, you can exceed the level when you're with your materials. With Evolution, it has to be the exact number. So this is kind of like Machine Angel Ritual. This is kind of like Machine Absolute Ritual, and this has a protection effect, so the comparison fits right there. So we have Vendread Executor. You can ritual summon this card with any Vendread ritual spell. This card's name becomes Vendread Slayer. So when this card is on the field, it's also named Vendread Slayer, and the reason why that is important is because Origin can protect your Slayer from being destroyed by battle or card effect if you banish it from the graveyard. It's also a higher stats, 3000 attack. It says, while this ritual summon card is on your field, your opponent cannot target cards you control with card effects except this card. So it's a pretty strong effect. I didn't want to focus on summoning this guy because it is 8-star and it's a little awkward to summon with the Vendread monsters. But it's still a really nice 1-of in the deck, maybe even 2-of. I don't know, like I said, this is early testing. So now it says, if this ritual summon card is destroyed by a battle or is destroyed by an opponent's card effect while in its owner's monster zone, you can add 1 Vendread card from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. So when these cards leave the field, they all let you add a card. Slayer lets you add a ritual spell. Executor lets you add any Vendread card, and Battle Lord lets you add a monster. Ritual monster, yeah, ritual monster. This guy is really good, level 7. You can banish 1 Vendread card from your graveyard and declare 1 type of card, monster, spell, or trap. For the rest of this turn, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects of that type. If this ritual summon card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 ritual monster from your deck to your hand, and if you do, send 1 Vendread monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can only use each effect once per turn. So this is really good to play around back row, to play around Karibos, to play around, you know, Bacon Sabers, all that kind of stuff. The effect is great. The attack is okay, 2700. It's stronger than your Slayer, but it doesn't really get stronger than that. That's why we're running the deck with the beatdown skill, so you can get over things like Desperado, pretty much anything. Red Eye Slash Dragon, even though we don't really see that anymore. Beatdown is always nice. Out of the 3 monsters, I probably go into Battle Lord the most often because it's a 7-star and you can go into it by using Revenants and your Hound Horde, which we'll get to those in a minute. We have 2 Sonic Birds, so we can search for or 6 ritual spells. Vendread Revenants, 1800 attack, really good stats. If this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card by battle or by card effect and sent to your graveyard, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. A Vendread monster ritual summon using this card on the field gains this effect. You can only use the preceding effect once per turn. So if this card is on your field and you use it for a ritual summon, the monster that you summon can target a special summon monster your opponent controls and banish it. And that is a quick effect, which is crazy. It's so good. It eats up Desperados, it eats up Xians, Blue Eyes, you name it. It's really not that hard to pull off. In this deck, I struggle a little bit just because I have 2. I really need a 3rd one, but unfortunately I don't have one yet. But this card is really amazing, and the 1800 attack is just a bonus because this and any ritual is lethal if you're able to clear your opponent's board. The next monster we have is Vendread Hound Horde. 2100 defense, no attack. You can, if this card is in your graveyard, you can discard 1 Vendread card, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. So this is really cool because you can summon your ritual monsters from the graveyard. So if you have this in the graveyard and you have your ritual monster in hand, you just send it to the graveyard, special summon this, then ritual summon. That way you gain the effect, which is once per turn you can target 1 spell trap card your opponent controls and banish it. It's also a quick effect. Really good effect, super useful. And yeah, I really like this card. If I could, as I said, I would run another Revenants, but I think Hound Horde is definitely a 3-0. This is the card that I'm still not sure if I would play at all or if 1-of is enough. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 1 other zombie type monster from your graveyard, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. If Vendread monster ritual summon using this card on the field gains the following effect. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. So it's good, but also if you have your executor, he does that for all of your cards except itself. So I don't know. The fact that it's 1, it does work with the numbers to some degree. It works for your level 8 pretty much. But I'm not sure about this card. This is the one card where I'm iffy, and I think if I had the 3rd Revenant, I wouldn't be using this card. The origin I already mentioned, it's the ritual spell. You must also tribute monsters from your hand, field, and or banish zombie type monsters from your graveyard whose total levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monsters. Really good. And as I said, if a Revenant Slayer you control will be destroyed by battle of a card effect, you can just banish this as you would Machine Angel Ritual. Now this card, this card can be used to ritual summon any Vendread ritual monster from your hand or graveyard. You must also tribute monsters from your hand or field and or send 1 Vendread monster from your deck to the graveyard whose total levels equal the level of the ritual monster. So if you're tributing from your hand or field a level 4 to summon Battle Lord, you have to send a level 3 from your deck, which is really good. It also works with Slayer pretty well because you just send 1 Slayer for another Slayer. However, the ritual summon monster is destroyed during the end phase of the next turn, and you can only activate this once per turn. The card is really good, and it's our 2nd ritual spell, so we have to run it. But I think it's decent. The deck is very good about. It has a good comeback mechanic to where you can top deck out of situations because your graveyard is an amazing resource. And the last card we have Vendread Knights. You can discard 1 card, add 1 Vendread monster from your deck to your hand, so it can search any of the monsters. When your Vendread monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can banish 1 Vendread monster from your graveyard. It can attack an opponent's monster again in a row. I didn't get to use that effect a whole lot, but I only run this card at once, so that's probably why. Let's go ahead and get into some replays. Sorry that it took so long. There are new cards, so we kind of have to talk about them. But yeah, these duels were very good in my opinion. I like the deck. I think it's fun. I think it has a lot of potential. I mean, monster removal, backer removal, it's always going to be interesting enough to mess around with. And zombies have so much support already that I'm sure we can come up with a good build for this cards. Alright, so we're gonna use Vendread Knights, send the Revenants to the send Hound Horde to search for Revenants. Revenants is a safe turn 1 play because they have to get over him a couple times. We're gonna see Neos Fusion, send Bacon Saber to the graveyard, summon a Blast Spider, destroys my Revenants with the Neos Fusion. He comes back, so I don't need to take the damage from Blast Spider. Alright, we're gonna use Knights again. This time we're gonna send the Ritual Monster to search for another monster because, as I mentioned, we can just summon him from the grave, so there's no reason to keep it in hand. We're gonna special summon the Hound Horde first. That way we get the effect when we Ritual Summon. So my monster can both banish a monster and banish a spell or trap once per turn. A special summon monster. So we're gonna get rid of that Brave Neos immediately. Battle Lord is gonna activate and banish a monster so that no monster effects can be activated. And I did this so that he couldn't summon Desperado after I attack into Blast Spider. He's also not able to use the Bacon Saber, so we're gonna be doing a ton of damage right here. Leave him at 600. He does come back with the Time Wizard, but he makes the mistake of setting a card first, so we're gonna get a free banish on that World Legacy Clash. Revenant is gonna come back to the field to protect my life, and my Battle Lord is gonna let me search for a ritual monster. So we're gonna get Slayer. Alright, my monster gets destroyed. I take 500, but all I need is a ritual spell, which I get, and I can attack over at that Time Wizard without having to worry about Bacon Saber, because we're gonna be summoning the Battle Lord. We're gonna banish a card, call monster, no Kuribos, no Desperado, nothing can be activated. So we get the easy win. Let's go to the next duel. Sorry, I had to send a message. So we're going up against Yugi. This is Magnets, I believe. Yeah, so we're going to see Gamma into Beta. Pretty optimal start for my opponent. That's the Alpha, so he already has Berserkion available. When I activate Knights, they're going to immediately swap into Delta and, mill a card. And activate Knights, send the ritual. Like I said, you don't need to keep the rituals in your hand, so you can always discard them to search another one. We're gonna use Core and Slayer to go into our Battle Lord. So my Battle Lord cannot be targeted by Berserkion now, but he will get destroyed during my opponent's end phase. We're gonna activate its effect, call monsters. That way, no Valkyrian can be summoned if I destroy this Delta. And also he can't search for another Berserkion with the Alpha that he just summoned. We're going to use our other ritual spell to summon the Slayer that was already in the graveyard. There's the Alpha. Alpha is going to search Berserkion, and he has plenty of fodder in the graveyard to pretty much wipe my entire board. It kind of sucks because I had plenty of cards in the field, which means he knows that he can't target my Battle Lord. But it would have been funny to maybe see him try to target my Battle Lord if there was nothing else on the field. So we're gonna use our Origin to protect our Slayer from one destruction, and we get our Ritual spell. And because our Battle Lord is being sent to the graveyard, we're already set up to summon another one the following turn. This is what I mean by the deck just keeps recycling so well. Revenants we pick up, so we're going to be able to banish that Berserkion immediately. We can also banish that face down, which was a powerful rebirth. We're not worried about Alpha searching for another Berserkion because we can just banish anything that's special summoned once per turn. So during their turn we'll be able to banish anything he tries to summon, just like that Berserkion got banished right there. He top decks different Burial from a different dimension. The card he needed to get that Beta back into the graveyard and summon a second Berserkion. Unfortunately for him, it doesn't matter. My effect is a quick effect, his is not. So I get to activate mine first, banish the Berserkion before it can even do anything to me. Alright, next replay. I feel like I haven't recorded in months, and it's only been like a week. Alright, we have a Crowler next. This was Ancient Gears, and it was interesting. I was able to play around the Double Cyclones and Cosmic Cyclones, and Galaxy Cyclones, because we don't really run any back row other than our field spell. So we're gonna summon the Hound Horde. Use it and another one from the hand to wait. Oh yeah, to summon my Executor. So now I can banish. I make a misplay right here. Sorry, it's going too fast and I keep forgetting what I was gonna say. I could have banished the Ancient Gear Castle during my turn, but I completely forgot. I ended my turn. So keep in mind that even though we missed one banish, we're still gonna get through this. We're gonna see the fortress. I know the plan is to just crash with my Executor, destroy his fortress, and then summon the Ancient Gear Reactor back. So we're gonna go ahead and banish that fortress immediately. Use the Origin to protect our monster. Banish another card. Summon Hound Horde. Ritual summon using the Hound Horde that we just summoned. So we get another banish this turn. Take care of the other back row, which turns out to be a Drowning Mirror Force, and we get the scoop. Easy removal. Even though I misplayed, I was still able to remove all that back row. It's insane. Alright, so we have a Kisa with what grows in the graveyard. Haven't seen this deck, Armades control, in a long time. It's actually pretty surprised. Just because Armades is pretty weak to a big monster such as Blue Eyes, so I think that's why it fell off a little bit. We're gonna summon the Sonic Burst, search for a ritual. Summon our Battle Lord. 3 back row with the Breaker, the Magical Warrior. My Battle Lord is going to be destroyed because it was summoned using the evolution. And that's completely fine because we get to search a Slayer and send something to the graveyard. We also have a follow-up Sonic Burst, so we knew we were going to be able to search for another ritual spell, even though we top decked the Origin. Special summon the Hound Horde. Summon the Executor. He goes for the Canadia. I can still respond and banish another card. We banish a Wall of Disruption, summon the Sonic Bird, get another Origin. Activate Origin, summon Slayer. Unfortunately, we're not going to get Revenant's effect because it's being tributed from the hand and it's not on the field. But that's fine. Go for the beatdown. There's a Mirror Wall. I could have used my Origin right here to protect my my Slayer, but there was no point. I rather use the 2 that I have to protect my Executor. It has better stats. Using it right here doesn't serve me any purpose because he can just pay for the Mirror Wall and then attack over it again. So we're just gonna let that get destroyed, get the search, mill another card, thin the deck, pays for the wall, goes Junk Synchron, goes into the Armades, which unfortunately for him cannot stop my Origin from activating in the graveyard. Here we go. Banish both of them, protect him from both attacks. Summon a Hound Horde, activate Evolution. Get Battle Lord in the field. Go for that beatdown, huge boost. Gonna go for Junk Synchron. They try a last ditch Econ take, but I'm not low enough in life for this to matter. Plus I'm just gonna search a Slayer, keep getting resources to my hand, get another Origin, summon Slayer, and that's the game. Even though I didn't even need Slayer, with beatdown it was more than enough attack. But we still go for the flex. And last but not least is a 6 Samurai matchup. And 6 Samurai is it's definitely a hard matchup because we are a ritual deck, which means Shien is going to be able to negate our ritual spells. But my opponent did not summon Shien, so it was free range for me, and I took full advantage of it. He also misplaced, as you will see, so we got an Ishi, double set. Activate Evolution after we summon the Hound Horde. We want Hound Horde on the field so we can banish a card with our ritual monster. So Slayer is going to target. I didn't even activate my effect. He immediately chains. He activates World Legacy Clash to my summon. and that was such a bad play because you guys know I always target middle. So now I know exactly what I need to target. We're gonna target the other face down, which was Duel. Summon the Hound Horde, activate Origin, and we are going to get Executor on the field. Search with Slayer. Go for the beatdown, hit him for 3,300. And what can he do? Nothing. Flips the Inishi. We're gonna summon the Hound Horde again. Activate Evolution. We're gonna summon the Battle Lord. Activate Battle Lord's effect. The reason I did this is just in the odd chance he has a Sphere Krivo. We're still winning the game right here because I call monster, so he can't activate any monster effect for the rest of the turn and get the easy win. So yeah, the deck looks fun. I feel like I didn't explain it very well, but you guys at least got a glimpse of what the gameplay looks like. I'll probably use this on stream where I can maybe go more in depth with my explanations and the stuff that I was doing. Right now the cards still seem pretty new to me, and I have to actively look and see what I'm using to know their effects. It's not automatic yet, but the deck's really fun. If you went into the box, I think you'll like it. If not, I don't think you're gonna be missing on the next broken deck. I think it'll be good, but there's just too much, and the fact that it's spell reliant means it's automatically weak to 6 samurais and spell books if they happen to be around. That's gonna be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you want, and that's it. Till next time.